are so dang poor. So my young lady here commented and said, I do not like, because my last video I was talking about the new voter district maps in Galt. She said, I do not like the drawing of these district maps because of this, my tax dollars are going to go to Liberty Ranch instead of Galt High, and my daughter goes to Galt High. I prefer my money to go fueling them, right? This brings us to the conversation of school funding in Galt, which is a very interesting conversation. So regardless of what side you live on in Galt, your tax dollar fuels all schools. There's 2 school districts in Galt. One is the Galt Joint Elementary School District, and another one is over the high schools. Your tax dollars in this town go to the city of Galt, the school district that's over the elementary schools, and the one that's over the high schools, regardless of where you live at. From what I'm understanding, in fact, one of the individuals he reached out to me. We were talking about how back in the early times of the building of the homes on the east side, there was actually a higher property tax put on the homes on the east side that were being built there. Even with that, those higher property taxes that we're paying on the newer side, on the east side, from what I understand, all of the schools, be it the ones being built on the east and the ones being built in the west, can benefit from it. Most of the funding for the schools in Galt, the overwhelming majority of it does not come from our tax dollars. It comes from state funding. It comes from the LCFF. I can say 85% of the funding for the school districts in Galt comes from that state funding. It doesn't come from our tax dollars. Our tax dollars pay maybe a 4% margin of it, which brings us to the reason why there's always been a conversation about how poor Galt is, or how poor the schools is. The reason why these kids aren't going on the field trips to the museums, to the zoos, any of that we went to growing up in bigger towns, is because the amount of state funding that these schools get is based on the enrollment rate, is based on the enrollment of students here. Just to put it simply, we live in a smaller town. So naturally, say, for example, if you compare, I think for Galt High School District, they get 26 million funding from the state of the LCFF fund, versus if you go to El Dorado Hills, where their high school district is 3 times the size of that high school district of Galt, they get 80-something million just because of sheer numbers. So regardless of what size your district is, regardless of how the property taxes are, the state funding is still the same. This is why those fundraisers that they have, those athletic boosters, et cetera, this is why the funding for that and you guys participating and showing love is so important, because this is why the kids, just to put it simply, this is why these kids don't get to do all the shit that we got to do growing up a lot of times.